Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Tallybook Troubleshooting. I'm your host, Keith Stelter. Tallybooks, they frame the oil field. They're full of all sorts of information, very unique to the oil field, and it's a way of looking at our past, solving problems, issues, and the reason I did this show in the first place was to demonstrate, a side of the oil field, a positive side, great stories, situations unique to our industry. And the man beside me, if you don't already know, JP Warren, lots of podcasts, lots of LinkedIn activity. Go check out his profile. He's got a great story that I think...
Well, you know what? We're at Doug. It's very fitting for where we're at right now. We're actually in Doug Fort Worth Center. And my name is JP Warren. I'm the host of Energy Crew Podcast. I'm also the Vice President of Business Development over at Energy Funders, which allows individuals to get investment into oil and gas wells. Quick plug, now's the story time. So first off, go.
It's great. The guy basically, helped me out at a time where I was looking to, increase my footprint online. And to me, he does a great job of giving back to the oil field. What I think we lack a lot of times is great positive stories, a different outcome, a way, to show our happy side, our good side, right? Like, we're not these evil, bad guys like on the cartoons they make us out to be. There's way more to us than just, fuel at the pumps. And the people is what really makes it great. And you got a story that I think is so unique that only the oil and gas industry, I think this could happen. So what was going on?
Well, first off, you said I was helping you out. You've helped out. Keith has helped out so many different people, and that's why I'm so glad to connect with him. And this is the second time I've seen him in person. I love seeing him. We're actually so close. We're sharing each other's coffee. All right. We're back to live person events, taking sips out of each other's coffee. That's just what we're doing today.
Yes,
all right. So
very true.
You've done an excellent job helping other people out. So
thank you, sir.
You take the credit there. So we're at Doug. All right. This is the first time I've been to Doug in probably about 2 years now, 2 or 3 years now, and I'm excited. So why not tell a Doug story? This was probably the first year I went to Doug. The first year I got in sales was probably about 2012 or 2011. I think it was 2012. It was Doug Eagleford in San Antonio.
Okay.
So I'm doing the whole walking around. Hey, how you doing? Nice to meet you. It's my first year in sales, so I wasn't really that comfortable yet. So I did have a couple friends, a couple frusties. All right, so I'm walking down one aisle or whatever you want to call it. I say hello, introduce myself to someone, whatever. Nice guy. Don't really know him. Whatever. So flash forward.
Never met this guy before.
Never met this guy before in my life.
Brand new.
Didn't even hit it off. We probably had maybe a 15-second conversation. One of those elevator, hey, how are you? Who you with? Where you live?
Okay.
Yeah, one of those things.
Very common.
Very common. I'll probably do that now while we're filming. It's a little happy. So anyway, met this guy, and flash forward about a day later, it was the last night of Doug. Doug was done. And I was stayed in town to have dinner with a customer of mine, a good buddy of mine. I'll say Jason Peterson. Yeah, I had dinner with Jason Peterson, a good buddy of mine, and we plan to go to dinner. So I'm walking out of Doug, the convention center, and I bump into that guy that I just met. All right?
The 15-second conversation.
The 15-second conversation. We're at a stoplight, waiting across the street. I'm like, hey, what are you leaving?
How's it going?
You leaving town? And he's like, actually, I'm staying tonight. I have a meeting tomorrow. I said, obviously diarrhea of the mouth. I'm like, why don't you come to dinner then? No idea who this cat was, what he did or anything like that. He's like, okay, I'm in. I was like,
so that's unique only to the oil field, because I can't imagine anybody else just randomly, we saw each other at a conference, we must be best friends.
Let's go to dinner.
Yeah.
Let's go to dinner now. So there I am, let's go to dinner. He's like, okay. So I called my buddy Jason. I'm like, hey man, I just invited this guy to go have dinner with us. All right, like, man, I don't know this guy. Like, I was planning just you and I kind of like hanging out, shooting the bull, having just like you and I like bros night, And I'm like, look, this guy's bad. Look, we'll just call dinner early. We'll ditch him. And, we'll do our own thing. You know what I mean? Like, look, I'm not always. Look, I was first year in sales. Don't judge. You know what? Whatever. Judge me. But anyway, so I'm like, all right, we got it. He's like, look, that's fine. I don't think it'll be that bad. I'm like, me neither, but you never know. So we go to dinner, and next thing I know, it turns into like a 5-hour dinner, and then we after that we do cocktails after that. It turns into
a good 5 hours or bad 5 hours?
A great 5 hours. So pretty much
time's flying by. This guy's
by. And so from that interaction where I met that guy, invited him to dinner, he has become one of my closest friends, Jason Churchill, over at Petro Legacy. So it's funny, it's like, take the chance to meet someone, say hello, even if you don't think you'll vibe, because you never know where that relationship's going to go. And he's one of my closest friends now. So it's kind of funny. It's a story. It's a Doug story. It's a Doug tale.
But at the same time, I think it's a great oil field story, and I don't think it's all that unique. Like even here, some of the people I've met last week or 2 weeks ago, I went to Houston, and I meet this guy for the first time, a guy named Doug Taylor. I'm walking down the street to go meet another gentleman, great guy, Todd Brooker.
Yep.
Walking down Main, and all of a sudden, this guy starts banging on the window in this restaurant. I look over, and it's Doug Taylor. I've only met the guy one time. I walk in, I'm like, hey man, how's it going? And I look over, and there's another guy, Zeb Perry. Like it's a great industry where people are more than, willing to be friendly, take a chance.
Oh, that's what I love about the industry. It's just as you said before, it's the people. It's that's why I love this industry. I mean, yes, we provide efficient energy. Yes, yeah, that's great. But it wouldn't be the industry it is without the people. And I love making them. I mean, I've had some of the best friends in the industry. That's kind of who I hang out with now. Like I dig our industry, man.
The people, we've been through, especially if you work in the field for a number of years, you've seen some crazy shit go down. You've worked some crazy hours, and the only other people who can really relate to that is other oil field people. So. Kudos to you, man. Thanks for coming on and sharing that awesome story.
Yeah, so honestly, if you don't think you have something in common with someone, or you're not sure if you'll jive with them or anything like that, just introduce yourself. Take 5 minutes to get to know them, because you never know. That could become one of your best friends later on the road. And that was, 9 years ago?
Man, a lost art is having a conversation with a total stranger. So many people have become isolated. They can't just walk up and go,
well, hold on a second. We're doing Italian Book 2. Let's solve a problem. What is your trick when you're actually talking to a stranger?
My trick? Basically, the first thing I focus now, because of so much social media, is focusing on their name. Just so that, one, a lot of times I would skip and try to find some cool subject, and then I would end up forgetting their name. So that's the biggest thing. And once you can relate and you know someone's name, you're like, hey, you're confident. Hey, that's you, Joe. That's you, Rob. You can really connect with someone so much better.
I always challenge myself and challenge other people. For the first 5-10 minutes of a conversation, I never bring up work. I never, what do you do, who you with, I always try to find something where I talk to the person, not to the position. So that's my little.
And I think that if we're gonna take a moment, huge advice for on social media as well. Like the messages on LinkedIn, a lot of people send this big long spiel of talking about their company right off the bat. Try and connect with the person, on a personal level first before you bring up business. That's the biggest advice I would say, especially that's what I respond to.
Well, that's how you connect with people. It's not about, I am not my job, you know what I mean? I'm so much more than that, and so is everyone else. So it's always important to kind of talk to, just don't bring up work for a little bit.
Exactly.
See how fun that is. So.
Well, I really appreciate you.
Well, thank you, sir.
Oh, up high, yeah.
You got to do it for the camera.
And everybody, finish it off. Thanks once again for checking it out. That's how you troubleshoot.